Okay, I separated it into four parts again.
Okay, and the sound is now being recorded.
Okay, so the first one is tests. That part. Second one is all of Jinbei's story, and you can sleep through it if you want to. Third one was kind of difficult because there's nothing that really happens. It's just everybody's going to the plaza. And fourth is Jinbei's plan. So
Let's first of all do our intro.
oh yeah, sure. Oi oi, and welcome to the Dritz. No, sorry. Let me start again. Oi oi, and welcome to the Derv Derp channel. I am your host Skeenerd, and over there is Derv Derp, and we are here to review another round of One Piece for you. In case you want to listen, give a like and subscribe, and definitely comment down below if you like what we're doing or hate what we're doing, or say what we missed, because you probably missed something because there's too much to do.
And we're trying to shorten it down because we do have D&D starting in 49 minutes.
Nerd.
I said we.
I said nerd. You said 49 minutes? Wow, oh, Jesus Christ.
48 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to be doing episodes 537 to 556. All right, and we got some new characters. So the first part is called Tests, and let's see. Oh, last time we should talk about what last time what happened. Last time what happened, the princess was seen, and everybody thought Luffy kidnapped the princess, and the entire crowd was like, "Oh my god, the princess was captured or was kidnapped." Blah blah blah. That's where we kind of left off, and we had like a mini fight with some of the Straw Hats and Cody. So I think we're in the middle of that. They're in the castle. But some of the new, at least for this section, some of the new characters that we will see is Queen Otohime. Let's see, and then the different officers of the new Fishman Pirates. We got Karos, Mach or Much. These are all the officers. Daruma, Hirozu, which you've seen before, Zio, and Dosen. And they're relevant, but not that relevant. They're just his officers. So we get to see some of their moves later on. And but not for a while. So anyways, so that's it for that. So this first part is all about tests. So basically what happens is we'll first do the funny part. So Sanji is told not to turn around because the fish princess is there, and he's like, "Oh my god, the most beautiful like mermaid in the kingdom is here." Chopper's like, "No, no, no, don't turn around." And what happens to Sanji when he turns around? Do you
Chaos.
remember?
Chaos.
Uh, no, he turns to stone.
Still chaos.
Yeah, turns to stone, and Chopper's like, "Oh, I wonder if that was because of the blood transfusion." But there is chaos, yes, that happens with it. Let's see. And then we get a little fight between Luffy and Decken because Decken's around. He's coming. He's actually coming for the princess. Actually, shot a piece of coral at her to try to find her, and he kind of fought him off, and they got away. He's like, "No, my love," and the princess rejects him, saying, "You're not my type." And now he like wants to kill her for like really reals. Anyways, so from here, Cammy and Nami come to the sea forest, and also at the same time, Luffy and the princess make it there. And during this, we got some of the Straw Hats in the tower, and Luffy is actually fighting Hody underwater. And because Hody is like, I'm superior to all humans, Zoro cuts him, and all his officers and people around him are like, oh my god, he got cut in the water. Oh my god. And so Hody, and to counteract this, takes some drugs, takes a handful of drugs, and so he doesn't have to feel pain. So that's fun. And then Neptune is there, and then they free Neptune and all the people, and Neptune's like, everybody get away. So Neptune uses a cool attack called Merman Combat Ultramarine. It's basically a jet of water that propels everyone out. But unfortunately, something happens to the king where he just kind of gets stuck there. And I wrote, what did I write down? Escape, but Hody's still there. Hody like grabs onto the king so he can't get away. And so they're like, yeah, now we're gonna execute the king. This is gonna be so much fun. Anyways, so a bunch of towns get invaded as well, and everybody has to do tests. And the test is they have to step on what do they have to step on? Do you remember?
I don't.
They have to step on a picture of Queen Otohime. And we at this point we don't know who that is, but we eventually find out that that's the queen, the deceased queen. And then after that, Luffy and Jinbei make it to the sea forest, and the princess gets to fill out her dream of going to her mother's grave. And so we get to see that. And then Jinbei thanks them, and he also apologizes. He thanks them for stopping Arlong and apologizing for Arlong, and because he is the one who set Arlong into the East Blue. He basically was like, "Hey, get out of here, do something else." Robin finds a poneglyph. That was cool. Holy crap! And introduced some officers as they're going around terrorizing every little village there, forcing people to step on a picture of the deceased queen, or they kill them. And then we learn about Jinbei's warlord deal. In order for Jinbei to become a warlord, he had to let Arlong go, and that puts Nami in a different puts her in her situation, and that decision, Sanji says that decision put Nami through hell, and he doesn't like that. And Nami was also unaware of the persecution of merfolk by humans, and she just only learned about it from Arlong, that she didn't understand why Arlong hated her so much. Let's see. And then Hachi says, those in power tend to resist change the most. And then we get a story about Fisher Tiger and Queen Otohime and their quest to try to change the history of Fishman Island and human history. And this is what gets us into the next part, which is Jinbei sits down, and we get to hear about why Arlong went on a rampage, why he went crazy and started just like hating all humans and attacking all humans. So in this part, we are introduced to, we actually get to see Queen Otohime. For real, she's a goldfish mermaid. And we get to see a 30-year-old Jinbei. a 25-year-old Arlong. This is like 16 years ago, this part of it. And we get to see the founding of the Sun Pirates. That's fun. We get to see a little girl named Koala, and she's very important. She's trying to get to her home island. We see a Vice Admiral Kizaru. That's fun. And finally, a world noble, Celestial Dragon Saint Majasgard. I don't know how to say his name. I totally butchered that. But he is a total animal and a total dickwad. Oh, and a total little child. Anyways, so in 16 years ago, everybody was having a good time, and Jinbei was a soldier of the Neptune Army, and he was also Fisher Tiger came back from like a long journey that he had, and it was just like, oh, cool, it's Fisher Tiger. Or he was going to leave. I think it was. Yeah, that's what it was. He was going to leave, and he's like, haha. So he became a lieutenant in Fisher Tiger's pirate group or whatever. And oh, I totally messed that up. He was a lieutenant of Fisher Tiger, and then he became a soldier. That's what it was. Got separated. Yeah. Huh. See, I can make mistakes too. Anyways, Fisher Tiger returns, and everybody's like happy, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Fisher Tiger!" And he had a plan to free the slaves or whatever, and that's what he wanted to do. He's like, and he's just talking to the Queen and King at the time. He says, "I saw humans," and they were like horrified about what happened, and they were like, "Oh, good, you have your request to like free slaves." This is after the Mary Geoise thing of everybody breaking out. And so after this happened, a lot of the fishermen joined Fisher Tiger to form the Sun Pirates, and they all got the branding of that sun thing. And then 15 years ago, Queen Otohime wants peace with humans, and she does it in her own way. She's basically trying to petition people to get signatures to talk to the world government and try to have better relations through a peaceful and try to convince people. And she did that. I think she did that for a total like 5 or 6 years. But we got a lot of quotes. Would you like me to read them?
Sure.
Cool. Well, Kid Hody says, "Kill all humans, just like Bender." From that one show that you all love. Oh, right. Another quote while they were out at sea from Jinbei: "Slavery is okay, but freeing slaves is a crime?" That doesn't make any sense. So basically what happens with this, the Mary Geoise thing, all these slaves are freed, and the world government knew that it was the Sun Pirates that freed them, and the Marines were following them, and they were trying to arrest them and saying, "Hey, you need to bring the slaves back." And what I was thinking, like, oh shit, these pirates have slaves. Oh, that's not good. But then realizing that, wait a minute, they were slaves to begin with, and they don't care about actually freeing these slaves. They care about taking these slaves back to being slaves. So that's where that quote comes from. It's like, wow. And then Fisher Tiger has a lot of wisdom, and he says, hey, it's not the humans' fault. We can't be taking our anger out on them. Quote from him is, "If you kill humans, that's your loss. Do you want to be like them? This was not revenge for discrimination." And he talks about liberation and freedom. That's what he's trying to bring with these pirates. He also says, if we start to seek revenge, it will only lead them to get back at us later. We will rob, but not kill. So that's his whole philosophy on this thing. And Arlong has the opposite philosophy. He's like, why don't we just kill them all? Then they can't come and bite us in the ass. And then Fisher Tiger has he mentions he has like a demon in his head, but we don't know what that means. And you have these two people, Fisher Tiger versus Princess Otohime, or Queen Otohime. One wants to be at peace with humans through peace, and one wants to do it through war. Let's see, and then we get to see Fisher Tiger. He gets a bounty of 230 million, and Jinbei gets a 76 million. So that's fun to see them growing. Anyways, when it gets to 12 years ago, we meet this girl named Koala, and she was a former slave that Fisher Tiger set free. And she is totally traumatized, and she wants to go to her home island, and she is totally scared. And Fisher Tiger starts talking to her and says, "Hey." She starts like cleaning the boat, and she's like, "No, I'll clean. I'll clean. I'll keep cleaning. I won't stop." And puts a smile on her face. And he says to her, like, it's okay to cry. We're not here to make you work or anything. So she starts crying, and then everybody loves this girl except for Arlong. He's just like, I know some shit is going to go down. And they all go on these adventures. All these fishmen who like were hating humans were starting to like this girl, and it's just like it just changed who they were as a crew and people, except for Arlong. And anyways, so what happens is they drop her off and at the village, and so Fisher Tiger goes there, drops her off, and she's happy, and they're like saying goodbye, and it's all like crying and stuff like that. And someone in that village called the Marine to go after Fisher Tiger, and a lot of people in those village hated fishmen. So there was still that prejudice, and Fisher Tiger was trying to change that by, hey, I can do something good by dropping off this girl and showing humans that we're not all bad. But then, he gets surrounded and shot and eventually dies, and their boat gets destroyed, so they steal a Marine boat. And while on the boat, he needed a blood transfusion, and because he was so angry at these humans, his quote-unquote demon came out, and he's just like, I hate all humans. This is what humans do. We try to do a good thing, and then humans like screw us over. He refused to get a blood transfusion, and he died. However, and then Arlong, of course, goes on a rampage, and he gets caught right away, and he tells the world government, oh no, he was refused a blood transfusion by humans, which is not true. He refused it even though there was blood. Doctors were trying to give it to him. So Fisher Tiger dies, and everybody gets upset and all that stuff. Well, let's see. Not knowing that people leads to fear. Fisher Tiger refuses blood transfusion. Let's see. Fisher Tiger says only people who aren't prejudiced are children. And we also learned that Fisher Tiger was a slave, and he was I think he was a slave for like 3 years or something like that. And he came back trying to free even more slaves, basically, and try to do good in the world in his way of being a pirate. So he dies. Arlong gets imprisoned, and then Jinbei becomes a warlord. And one of the conditions was Arlong could be set free, but then he was sent to the East Blue, while Jinbei did the deeds of the world government. And at this time, after Fisher Tiger dies, less and less people like to actually take away their signatures from Queen Otohime, and she starts drinking, and she basically says on the loudspeaker, hey, this is bad what you guys are doing, and stuff like what did I write that? Queen Bee doing. She goes on a rant. She's like, how can you go? We're just going to continue this cycle of hatred, and this is our chance to do something. And immediately after that happens, she gets a hangover and stuff like that. There is an emergency, and celestial dragon visits, and his entire crew was killed, and he was the only one remaining, and he is like a little fucking child. You remember this, right?
Yep.
What was he doing on the beach?
Trying to lord himself over all the fishmen.
Yes, he's like, I'm in charge of you. I'm here to get my slaves back. I need a doctor. And he's like literally firing his gun into a crowd of people. Give me a doctor. And all these people, his former slaves, surround him. They're like, oh, you want us to come back, huh? He's like, yes, thank you. Finally, some reason. It's like, bro, what the fuck? I fucking hate these guys. Okay, so in my side notes, I wrote Celestial Dragon is dumb. Shoots gun while asking for help. Who's like, hey, please, go to a hospital, pull out a gun, and be like, please, I need help, and just shooting randomly in different directions. Please, I need help. I'm important. And the best thing about this was the Celestial Dragon was just like, I thought people respected me. It's like, no. People don't respect you. They fear you because you have literal admirals that will be called if you get someone paper cuts you or something like that. Someone breathes on you wrong, you'll call in an admiral. But down there, an admiral can't be called, and all these fishermen surrounded together, they're like, hey, your entire crew got killed. What's one more? But at the very end, Queen Otohime goes to protect the Celestial Dragon. She gets shot in the process, not killed. She gets grazed, and so she goes on for a week. She goes with the Celestial Dragon, try to get to know him, try to get some notoriety, saying, "Hey, we saved your life. Hey, can we talk or whatever?" And they take her, and she comes back a week later, and she's alive, and it was very tense because they didn't know if she was going to come back alive because of all the hatred for its fishmen. But she comes back alive, and nice. All right. And when she gets this was a very important thing. When Queen Otohime gets shot, the princess is upset, and she uses a haki to call on sea kings. And the little princess, who's 6 years old, and this is when Vanderdecken quote unquote falls in love with her. And apparently, there's a legend in his family of a mermaid that can control sea kings, and his thinking is, if I can marry her, then I can control sea kings, and I can live up to my family's reputation. So he's not sexually attracted to her. He just wants to marry her for power reasons. Vanderdecken is something else. I think he's a chaotic evil character. Not sure, but he's not that bright. Anyways, legendary mermaid. All right. And when Queen Otohime comes back, she gets a. What does she get? She gets that. Do you remember?
I don't.
She gets the petition to relocate to the world above with a celestial dragon signature on it to make it official. If they get enough signatures, they can go above sea and stuff like that. And as they're getting a billion signatures, they're getting more and more signatures. A fire starts, and the signatures are on fire, and then the queen Otohime gets assassinated. Everybody's sad face, and luckily Arlong was there to catch who did it, and it was a human. And he's like, "Look, everyone, it was a human. Whoa, no way!" And immediately my spider senses went off when this happened, and I was just like, "Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Arlong. It was Hody that did that. It was Hody that was like, hey, look who killed the queen. It was a sturdy human." Because Arlong at this point was in the East Blue, right? Um, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And immediately I was just like, "Fucking Hody, I fucking know you did it. You did it, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You're the one that did it. You have all this motivation to do it, and you did it. You had to force your way into it. I've seen this too many times. I know your scheme." Anyways, oh, right. Vanderdecken proposes when she's 6 years old. That's fun. Then there's a giant funeral, and because now Vanderdecken is like throwing things or whatever, there's some like ruckus. All the kids can't go to the funeral, which is why the princess Shika, what's her name?
Shirahoshi.
Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi.
Or as Luffy calls her, Weepy Hoshi.
Yep, and Coward. Weepy Hoshi and Coward. It was Weepy Hoshi is an upgrade. So their funeral happens, and the Queen Otohime's last words were, "We are almost there at that place under the red sun, or real sun." And that was her last words to her kids, and her kids were trying to pass on that sentiment of helping people. So that was fun. So now it shifts back to the present, which is our third point, which is called Journey to Plaza. This section of the episodes was really bland. That's all I can really say. Not a whole lot happens. It's just people like moving. Like that Lord of the Rings movie where everybody just walks. All right. So in this one, we learn about like the World Summit, and it's coming up. And that's it for new characters and stuff. So let's get into it. So basically, we get a quote from Nami right after this happened. She says, "The only one I hate is Arlong. She doesn't hate Jinbei. She hates Arlong for doing what she did to him." And Sanji's like upset because he did that. Jinbei and Arlong did that to Nami, and they're brothers or whatever. But turns out Luffy slept through the entire story, and he doesn't know what the fuck happened. And then Hachi says, what makes Hody different from Arlong is that he attacks fishmen that are friendly to humans. And we all know that Hody got attacked defending humans. So there's that. It's a whole different level of hatred, but because Arlong never attacked fishmen, no matter what. Anyway, so this World Summit is coming up. This is why Hody has made his move to do this, to avoid them having peace at the World Summit. And then the test that they had before of stepping on Otohime's image is why some people hesitated. He's just like, hey, throw away that test. I got this whole list of people who wanted to vote to be on the side of humans. It's actually a list of traitors. And so it's just like going into like Nazi shit, like, oh shit, now they're traitors for signing a piece of paper. Wow, how smart and forward thinking you are. And so yeah, we don't need to use the test because some of them could be lying. We got the traitors right here, right where we want them. Oh boy, isn't that fun, folks? And then we get a little. Oh, and then Hody Jones says, "Bury the past, bury it." Yeah, that's something great people do. Great thinkers in life. Bury the past. We're gonna bury the past of anything human related. We're gonna take over the world, and all humans will be our slaves, and blah blah blah. Anyways, Robin is now at the Poneglyph, and she notices that the words are a letter of apology. She doesn't know to who, but then she says "Joy Boy." I don't know if that was a translation issue, um, or not, but that was kind of weird.
Do you want me to
Um,
answer, or do you want to?
no, you don't need to answer.
I'll just say it's
Um,
not a translation issue.
oh, okay.
You'll learn about it soon.
Okay, cool. Um, so Joy Boy, that's cool. Let's see. Oh, and then Luffy and Jinbei have like a fight. Luffy wants to go fight Hody, and Jinbei's like, no, we can't have fishmen fighting humans or humans fighting fishmen. That'll make it look bad and stuff. And we get a fishman karate explanation, which is kind of cool. And so it explains that fishman karate is manipulation of water around you and inside of you. So you can do like water vapor and the water inside your body. And yeah, that was kind of a quick explanation, but that's what they talked about. There was some candy factory destroyed. That was Big Mom's candy factory. Um, we learned that Zio, one of the officers, can camouflage. He's one of the better officers. I like him. And we also learned that Hody loves drugs because he takes handfuls of it all the time. And we see a cool weapon by one of the officers, Icaros, and it's a spear called a dried squid spear. And so basically, what it does is you stab it into someone, and it takes all the liquids out of you. So this is important for later. But that's a really cool weapon. And then Hody takes so many drugs that what happens to Hody or Hordy or whatever?
He goes insane.
Yes, he transforms. His hair changes to white, and his body transforms, and he goes even more crazy.
And his eyes
And
turn a bright red. Not
yes,
just the pupils, the whole eye.
mm-hmm. And let's see. And then their new plan is basically to destroy everything. They want to destroy Fishman Island, basically, and yeah, they don't even care. They're like, we're gonna take our quest up to the top and destroy everything. Nobody can stop us. But he's pretty stupid because I don't think he's ever been there before. So, really don't. Anyways, takes us to our last portion, Jinbei's plan. So, there was an issue between Jinbei and Luffy, and they kind of fought, and Jinbei was just like, no, you can't come with. And Luffy's like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to come with. My crew is in danger, and I need to do something about it. And so then we see like the aftermath of like, all right, I took care of you, Luffy. And the princess, what's the shark's name? Megalo? Yeah, Megalo and Jinbei all go toward the plaza, and there's this stupid trap, and Princess Shirahoshi, she's like, oh, look, it's father. Father's there. And Jinbei's like, no, that's not father. Oh, father. And it's obviously a fake. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, princess, why are you so goddamn dumb? Oh my God. So they get entrapped, of course. And they're all tied up along with the Neptune. And now we're at the plaza. So, and then the princes arrive, the three princes, and they start fighting some of the, I think it was the beasts. What are they called? The sea beasts or whatever. That they had as pets. What?
Sea Kings.
Sea Kings. That's what it is. The Sea Kings, and they defeated them, and there's a huge crowd like surrounding it. They're like, "Oh my god, they defeated them!" And then like Arlong takes like 2 seconds and defeats them all. Or not Arlong. Bodhi takes 2 seconds and defeats them all, and they all get tied up just like their father, and Hodie's just like torturing him. He's like, oh, I'm gonna sling bullets in your face. Haha, there's that. So then, the princess and Jinbei come. So Jinbei's trapped and princess is trapped, and it's all looking super hopeless. And then we get to see Hodie's army of 100,000 people, 70,000 fishmen, and 30,000 human slaves. And he's like, look at these slaves. Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it great? And it's just like, people are like, you're exactly like the celestial dragon that you hate. Like, you do realize this, right? God. And then we get the big news of Hodie killed Queen Otohime. Oh, no. And I was so happy that I called it. But however, the princess already knew, and that was a plot twist I didn't see. Well, what happened there was Megalo, her pet shark, witnessed Hodie, and like 3 years later, he talked to the princess and told her what happened, but she didn't say anything because of her mom's like final wishes. Go ahead.
No, since you paused, I just finished your sentence.
Oh, okay. She says, if I told people would hold a grudge against Hodie. And the mom was like, don't be angry. Don't hold a grudge against people who did this. And right when Neptune is about to be beheaded, Luffy comes out and he attacks. And he was in Megalo the whole time. Wow. The princess. So what happened is basically the princess and Jinbei called for Luffy, and they're like, Luffy, we need you, Straw Hat Luffy. And he comes out and he's just like, haha, I got you. You're dumb. And Luffy's quote unquote hero philosophy is like, I gotta save these people and protect them. And during this time, Nami's there and she's doing her mirage thing, so you can't see her. So she steals the celestial dragon letter that they have, and she gives Robin the keys to unlock the chains on the princes and everyone who's chained up, including Jinbei. So that was a huge surprise. And then out of the sky comes Sunny with all the people that were in the castle. Oh, by the way, Zoro, Usopp, and Brooks got captured. We learned Brooks has a special ability. His soul can leave his body, and he can like talk to people like a ghost can. And he was able to talk to Papag and get a key, and they were able to escape. Cool, awesome, great, wonderful. And then Jinbei says, no passing on hate to the next generation. That's what those brave heroes were trying to teach us. Talking about Fisher Tiger and Queen Otohime. And then we also learned that Jinbei's bounty is over 400 billion. Something, there was like a short phrase in there. That was cool. And then Luffy comes out, and immediately, like, there's 100,000 people. He uses his haki, and then now there's 50,000. And then, like, Zoro and Sanji are complaining. They're like, hey, leave some for us. And we get to see some cool attacks. We get to see special attack Green Star Devil. And then the Iron. I forget, like, this is what they're called. I forget what they do. It's okay. We're almost done, guys. So, we got the Iron Shell Squad. And we got they're just people with iron shields. That's all it is. A 3-sword style. Black Rope, Great Dragon Twister from Zorro. The Sea Urchin Spike Squad. Ooh, that's fun. We get to see a new guy called Commander Harrison. I guess he was the Sea Urchin guy or something. I don't know. Sanjik and Skywalk. That's different. He learned it running away from all those new trans Kenpo people. And he gets a new attack called Diamble Jumble. Poele of Free Ray Spectre. I don't know how to say it. It's French. I can't read French. And then Frankie keeps hinting at the Sunny's new weapons, but we don't get to see that until a little later. So that sucks. But let's see. Brooks does a cool attack. Basically, he makes it so people believe that they're in a festival, and they're like, "Oh yeah, fire off the fireworks!" And they're firing their guns in the air, and they're like, "Oh!" And their commander's like, "What are you doing? Attack him!" He's like, "No, we gotta set off the fireworks for the festival." And by that time, it's too late. The Quinte Tierce Fantasia, and he gets him. Boom. The Deadly Venom Squad, cool. And right, the Kraken comes out. Hody has the Kraken, and Kraken. The Kraken is Hody's slave, and this is kind of a spoiler, but I just kind of saw the next few episodes. But basically, what happens is, the Kraken is working for Hody because he has his brother hostage, and but as soon as the Kraken sees Luffy, he's like, "Oh my God, Luffy!" And then Tsurumi's like, "Oh, I'm going to side with Luffy," and he chooses Luffy. It's basically a slave versus a friend. Of course, the friend is going to win, but that's until 556. All right, cool. That was fun. Did you guys like that? I'm sure you did. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't really care. Got a poneglyph found. Got the Sea Monk walking around. Jinbei responsible for Arlong and the East Blue. Queen Otohime, Fisher Tiger are legends. These are just my side notes. If Princess Shirahoshi gets upset, ... she's not allowed to get upset because she can't control her hockey. That's why the mom was just like, "Don't get upset, be good." Poneglyph letter is an apology for Joy Boy. Brooks Soul can leave body. Weepy Hoshi, that's the new thing. And that's that. So this section was kind of cool. There was that little section in the middle, which made no sense at all. It was just bland, and it was just everybody traveling to the plaza, and there was nothing going on until everybody reached the plaza. Then stuff started to happen, which is very different for One Piece. But seeing the detail and why Arlong did what he did, seeing the backstory to that was really cool. What happened to Fisher Tiger and the betrayal, and how it is in real life with how do you get to know someone, how do you stop hostilities between people that hate each other, and it's always like a small few that fuck everything up for the rest of everyone, especially when it comes to like hate and stuff. So it gets into a lot of that. It gets into a lot of how Hody's basically like a Hitler, like a fishman Hitler. How he'll do whatever it takes to destroy all humans, even trying to intimidate people and killing them. Oh, you gave a signature to the queen. You're a traitor now. Also, like, if you give, like, one of the rules was like, if you give a transfusion of blood to a human, we're gonna kill you or beat you up or whatever. And there was like a lot of historical hard hitting things in there, and it's like what happens to people, like how do people become this hateful, and the cycle of death, the cycle of hate perpetuates, and it takes a lot of bravery and courage to stand up to those type of things. And it's just a reminder, like, you always got to be vigilant about these kind of things. Don't let those kind of people take over. Don't let that power take hold, that hatred take hold, because it can come back and bite you in the ass in a really bad way. And not just you, a lot of people. But what did we learn? Drugs are fun. Do you like drugs? Yeah, I like drugs. I'd say I like drugs a lot. I've been on drugs this whole time.
Sure you have.
If any of you have seen Tom Grossi, Wildflower, you know what I'm talking about. He loves them drugs. But during this song. Okay. So that was fun, right, kids? Do we have anybody watching? Or no? If we don't, that's fine.
Yeah, there's
I guess
one
my way
person.
down
It's
stairs.
probably Mike.
What's that?
There's one person. It's probably Mike.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mike. How are you? Are you a fan of Mr. Hody Jones? If you are, leave a comment. If you aren't, leave a comment saying F you, and I will understand.
Ski nerd.
What?
You heard me.
Oh, yeah. Did you? I think I did.
There's our review of part 2 Fishman Island. We'll do part 3 probably on Sunday. Then we'll go to Punk Hazard.
Uh-huh. And we did watch a movie. We ran out of time to review it today. It was Z, right? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Z.
Z? Cool. All right, time to change gears.
I'll do
Go.
I just got back from watching Companion. It's a really good movie.
Oh, that's nice.
With Wee Huey from The Boys.
Mr. Yui.
Join us Sunday. We have some monsters to kill.